Hello viewer, welcome to History and Government lesson Form 2 with your teacher Mr. John Gatun. Today we are going to deal with lesson 2, and in our previous lesson I gave you some assignments, and this assignment I want us to do it. The questions that I gave you are, you answer this question. Question 1 was, what is trade? I believe you were able to do your research and you found that trade refers to the exchange of goods and services for mutual benefits. Question 2 was, differentiate between barter and currency trade. The difference between barter and currency trade is, as you are able to discuss these two methods of trade, we said that barter trade is where there is an exchange of good with another good. You are able to give some demonstration. While on the other side, the currency trade, it is a method of trade that actually involves currency or the money. As the name suggests, currency. It involves currency to exchange goods and services. So today, we're going to continue with the same chapter. We're going to continue with the same chapter, chapter 1, and the subtopic that we're going to deal with is the types of trade. In a previous lesson, we looked at the method of trade, but today we want to dwell on the types of trade. So the types of trade, there are three. There are three types of trade that are involved in the exchange of goods and services. This is one, the one that we're going to discuss them in detail, is one, local trade. The local trade is a trade at village level. We're going to discuss them. The second type of trade is a regional trade. As the name suggests, region. This is a trade between two or more geographical regions, or rather the areas. We shall discuss this one in detail. Last type of trade that we have the international trade. International trade, this, as the name suggests, international. We are going to see that this involves continents, and it is trade between continents such as Africa, America, and Europe. We shall discuss this one in detail. So today we shall dwell on the local trade. And the local trade, this is a trade that existed at the village level or between the neighboring community. As the name suggests, local. It involves an exchange of goods and services at the village level. You can see in my illustration here, there are the exchanges of goods and services in the villages, or rather between the neighboring communities, exchanging the sculptures. You can see the sculptures and other goods. Another demonstration of the local trade, you can see the two parties that we mentioned. They are involved in trade. We have the seller at village B and a buyer at village B or any area. So these two parties, they exchange goods. The seller, you can see, carrying maize, wheat. You see the other buyer has got the vegetations, and they exchange for mutual benefit. So this one, the trade at the village level is known as the local trade. So therefore, it's good we look at the origin, development, and the organization of the local trade. And this trade occurred due to the following factors, or rather the reasons. Is one, climatic and environment conditions. Because some places were so dry for farming, the human beings could not rely on farming as the only way to get their daily bread. and therefore, because of the climatic or the environment conditions, they were able to engage in the trade at the local trade. The reason number 2, it is because of specialization. People developed some skills, and this example of these skills they developed, they are such as basketry, making the basket, the pottery, making the pots, the blacksmith, that is dealing with metals, so that they can exchange. So as a result of this, the local trade began. And then number 3, justification for the origin of the trade is there was a surplus production. And the surplus production means the excess of what produced was exchanged. You see the farmer has produced crops in an excess, and therefore they could sell the extra, or rather the excess. So these one led to the local trade. Lastly, another reason that led to the emergence of this trade is because of an evenly distribution of resources. Some places lacked the needed natural resources. As you can see in the earth, in the distribution of the resources in the earth, they are not equally distributed. So some places they lack these needed resources, and therefore, for the only reason to get these resources is only to engage in an exchange of goods and services at the local level. So therefore, this one led to origin of the trade. So we are going to see the impact of the local trade as this trade developed. As it developed, it left some mark. So we want to see these impacts, or rather the results or the consequences of the local trade. The consequences for this trade is 1. It led to the rise of early industries. And early industries arose because of the specialization. People engage in some activities such as pottery. You can see in my illustration, see the pottery, making of pots. So this one arose, and therefore as a result of the local trade. We have another one that is the blacksmith. The blacksmith dealing with metal. It was one of another industry that came. The local industries arose because of this trade. Number 2, reason number 2, it led to the cultural exchange due to the interaction. As people interacted during this trade, they exchanged the cultural practices. You can see making of the sculptures. This is a culture, the people's way of life. They could exchange in the process of trade. So this one was a result, it came as a result of the local trade. Another effect, or rather than impact, it led to the intermarriages. So communities expanded relationship between them. They exchanged the relationship, expanded the relationship among them. So you see a good example in my illustration. You see this community. This community has spread, or rather expanded. They got to marry one another. So therefore, this one was a result of the local trade. You can see another illustration. You see human beings, the communities, they exchanged, they expanded as a result of this local trade. 4th, impact of the trade, the local trade led to the urbanization. And urbanization is the growth of towns. So all trading centers grew into towns. There are places where the traders would meet. They could expand that region, and therefore these places where they were meeting to exchange the goods, that is the marketplace, it emerged into a very big towns, or rather urban centers. And also the trade routes. There was a development of settlement, and therefore this led to urbanization. It led to the regional trade and international trade. So the local trade, it was the base. It was the base for these two main trades that we shall discuss later in this class. Led to the regional trade and international trade. In my illustration, you can see the local trade. It gave birth to the regional trade. The regional trade gave birth to the international trade. And international trade, on the other hand, it led to legitimate trade. We shall discuss these types of trade. Therefore, this one came because there was early existence of the local trade at the village level. So this one brings to the end of this lesson. And before we end, I want to give you some assignment to go and try at home that we shall discuss in the next class. So you attempt these questions. Question number 1 is name 3 types of trade. Name 3 types of trade, that is 3 marks. And question 2, you explain 3 reasons that made people to engage into local trade. Another 3 marks. So we go and research on these questions, and in our next lesson, we shall discuss them in detail. Thank you for staying connected to Elimu TV. This is the only TV station where you can watch and learn. Make the TV station your station where you follow our lessons and get learn. So you can SMS us through the number 40007, or even in the Facebook you can get us at Elimu TV, and finally on Twitter you can follow us at Elimu_KE. Thank you for listening at me. I have been your teacher, Mr. John. See you in the next lesson. Thank you.